Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you with another offering off of my Sampler Platter. Yes, indeed, folks, this is a series of videos I've been doing for a little while now, where I go over there, I try out food and drink items. I consume them on the old camera setup. I mean, it's not a camera, it's a phone, because look at me. Do I look like I'm professional in any way? But then I go over there and I talk about the things, all while in the presence of Peter Cannon Thunderbolt poster. We got crappy old ladder off to the side, my two ever-present cohorts. And hey, folks, I'm not saying that the format of what I do is original, but who else does it with Peter Cannon Thunderbolt poster and terrible old ladder? No one. Just me. Just this guy. Brandon Wenzel. Come for the reviews, folks. Stay for the Peter Cannon Thunderbolt poster. And on top of it, I usually wear cool shirts. Like this one. Which is my my fancy new Zima Blue t-shirt that I got a couple weeks ago. It's from a Netflix a couple years ago did an animated anthology series called Love, Death, and Robots. And Zima Blue was one of the adaptations where they went over there. They went over there and they took science fiction stories and animated them. And I really love this one. I love the story it told, love the animation. Figured I'd get a shirt. Hooray, shirt! But anyway, folks, enough about shirts. What am I here to tell you about today? Well, folks, boom! Yes, indeed, folks, this is Coca-Cola with coffee. I would like to add in the subtext, just as a, personal Brandonism to the bottom here, which would be, because we're all going to die one day. Might as well speed it up. Let's take Coca-Cola, one of the worst things possible for your body, and then combine it with the properties of caffeine, which I can only assume means that it's just going to destroy you that much sooner. Now, that said, folks, I'm still going to drink it. So, I go over there and I joke, but I mean, hey, that's what I do on this show. I try things like this. New items like this. Because you see, folks, this is a recent item. It just, hit shelves pretty recently. I've been looking for it, actually. It was announced last year it was going to be coming here to America. It's originally available over in Japan. And actually, Cinema Snob, he went over there, he reviewed last year the Japanese version in anticipation for this. So, I've been pretty excited, folks. What with this, a new item. But here's what I mean, folks. You see, I call it a new item, but that's not really true. Is it Coca-Cola? No, because, you see, folks, this Coca-Cola with coffee is effectively this Coke Black that came out in 2005. It's the same general premise. It's Coke with coffee in it. And like I said, this came out quite a while ago. And at the time, it was one of my favorite drinks. So I've been excited for this. Sorry, I didn't mean to flip you off there. But, yeah, I've been really excited waiting for this because I was such a big fan of this at the time. Like I said, it came out around 2005. It never made, like, a huge impact. At the time, it just kind of was around. Anderson Cooper famously went over there and tried it and spit it out on live TV. Thanks, Anderson, for helping me over there and sink one of my favorite drinks. But yeah, I really, really like this stuff. So much so that not only would I go over there and try to buy them whenever I had the money to do so, but I kept most of the bottles. Hence why I have this one. This one's been down in my basement with all the others for years now. And yeah, I've been really excited for this one. Now, I'm just going to say right off the bat, folks, this just comes down strictly to personal opinion. This, way more attractive packaging than this. I get that they wanted to probably separate themselves from the original launch of Coke Black, since, like I said, it didn't do that well. But this is kind of lame, in my opinion. I don't really dig the packaging on this. Basically, they just took the general design of the Coca-Cola energy drink, which I have tried but I didn't review, and then they just went over there and transposed, the coffee element on it. And that's not if you wanted to distance yourself from a product that hasn't done that well, I would maybe veer off from the Coca-Cola energy drink, because I obviously don't have the Coca-Cola, numbers, but from what I've seen, it hasn't gotten the greatest response. For me personally trying it, it wasn't anything that was all that great. But anyway, that's what they decided to do. So, like I said, I've been really excited about this. Because I love this. So the question becomes, folks, is this actually this? Well, there's an asterisk to this review. Because you see, folks, it's already open. Why is it already open? Well, about 20 minutes ago, I started doing this review, and about 10 minutes into said review, my stomach started doing some stuff to let me know that if you don't go to the washroom now, you're going to void yourself on camera. Not something I really wanted to do. That's not something I wanted to get into. So, I had to stop, having already tried the dark blend and then the dark blend without sugar. I still have two more that I haven't tried, though. The caramel and the vanilla. So, I don't know if anybody actually cares whether or not these are, true reactions or not versus me just giving my opinion on stuff. But I just want to be straight with you folks. So, I'm still going to go over there and try it again. I will tell you right off the bat, though, before I even get into it, this is not exactly this. At least not from what I recall. Now, mind you, it's not like I can do a one-to-one comparison. There's nothing in this. And there's a little bit of stuff at the bottom, because apparently I didn't clean this out properly back in the day, which I'm going to do after I get done with this. And it's actually still liquid. Good on it, I guess. But I'm definitely not going to be trying that. That's not going to happen. I don't want to go down that particular road. But, at least from what I recall, this was not a one-to-one. But I'm going to try it for you now, again, and I'm going to go over there and give you my opinion on the thing. So let's go ahead. And what I will say, well, it's not a one-to-one, it is definitely a reasonable facsimile for a Coke Black. It definitely does taste similar to what I recall. But, at least with the dark blend, specifically the dark blend without sugar, it has kind of a bitterness at the end. Not much, it's kind of a hint of bitterness. But I don't recall that being part of Coke Black at the time. So, to describe the taste is kind of difficult just because the way that they've blended the Coke and the coffee, it blends, at least in my opinion, so well that it's difficult to really take apart the individual pieces because it kind of just becomes its own thing. Like, ultimately, what does it taste like? Well, it tastes like Coke Black or Coke with coffee. Neither flavor is hugely dominant. It really does a great job, in my opinion, again, of blending and doing its thing. So, to describe it otherwise, it's, like I said, has a little bit of bitterness, but it's mostly sweet. In terms of, like, what you can expect as a flavor if you were to try it yourself, I mean, it goes down more like a soda. I mean, which is, but it doesn't really go down like a coffee does. Man, it's, like I said, it's really difficult to describe. It's sweet. There's, like, kind of a coffee essence to it, but it's really not, like, at least in my opinion, you wouldn't immediately think coffee. But neither would you think, Coke. It's just kind of its own thing. It's a sweet beverage with a tiny bit of bitterness at the end. And you kind of have to experience it to really get the full thing. So, sorry for the vagueness, but that's kind of how this one goes, because if you never tried the original Coke Black, it's difficult for me to say, oh yeah, no, it tastes like Coke Black. But it is good. I enjoy it. So, Anyway, we'll go to the Coca-Cola with 0 sugar. Now this one, well, I mean, I'll just try it and all, yeah. Yeah, it's still the same. I don't know why I think it would be any difference when it's only been like maybe half an hour since I tried it originally. But yeah, the interesting thing with this one versus the normal dark blend, it's like I said, this is a dark blend with 0 sugar, is that this one actually probably has more going on flavor-wise than the dark blend does. It also doesn't have the bitterness, which is kind of interesting. You would think with the lack of sugar that would be exemplified, but it's really not the case. If anything, it seems like the lack of sugar allows it to really kind of open up. The only downside is it does have that 0 sugar taste that pretty much all 0 sugar drinks have, which is why I'm usually not super into the 0 sugar stuff, because it's not quite diet, it's not quite original, it's sort of its own thing. And yeah, man, it's not awful or anything, but if I were going to do either, I would probably do diet over 0 sugar. Though I should probably do 0 sugar anyway. Realistically, I shouldn't be doing any of this stuff if I'm, trying to talk about health stuff, but yeah. But yeah, there's just a stronger hit of flavor at the very beginning. And then it kind of, you get this nice hint of flavor with this kind of like interesting sweetness to it. But then it kind of pulls back, and then again, it becomes that 0 sugar kind of flavor. So if you're into that, wunderbar. If you're not, for me, I do actually like this one. But would I get it again in terms of, the overall, next to like the dark blend and stuff? Probably not. But I still have 2 flavors to go, so we'll see. It's going to end up being my second favorite. Excuse me. Yeah. Let's do vanilla next, because it happened to be there. And like I said, this one is closed, so there's going to be a legitimate reaction and all that stuff. So let's see how it goes. I will say, you can make kind of a moonshine version of Coke Black. I was able to figure out, don't ask me how, literally years of trying different things, because I really wanted Coke Black back. Back when I worked at the gas station, I got free coffee and free fountain drinks for working there. And so I would go over there and make these like chimeric concoctions trying to figure out, like the ratios and stuff. I never got particularly close with that. But turns out if you take a really big glass and you pour in a whole can of Coke and a whole Starbucks double shot mocha, it comes out to be pretty similar from what I recall. Maybe I'll even do, I didn't think about it, but maybe I'll do a 1-to-1 comparison at some point with the new stuff. Alright, so let's give the vanilla a shot. I like vanilla. Vanilla is a good flavor. Okay. I always feel somewhat bad because my nose is always like partially clogged up. It's never like fully. So, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, it smells somewhat similar to the other two, but with like kind of a hint of vanilla. So, let's give it a shot. Okay. It's not bad. Huh. Huh. Okay. Well, like I said, it's not bad. Despite my reactions, I'm more just quizzical versus it being terrible or anything. It's just that it's compared to the other two, the two dark blends. It's distinctly neither of those. I mean, obviously, it was going to have its own thing, what with the vanilla, but it really, like, whereas the other two, I could say, they taste pretty similar to Coke Black. This one really doesn't. It doesn't invoke anything of the Coke Black in me. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's really just kind of sweet, and then it's got like kind of a hint of vanilla. Which, I mean, I know that sounds, like, well, yeah, clearly it's, but there's just not much going on beyond that. That's kind of unfortunate. And there's a little bit of the normal flavor to it with the coffee, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. This one for me is pretty weak. It's not terrible tasting or anything. It's fine, but yeah, I don't really, I don't get, like I said, I don't get that hit of Coke Black, that I enjoy. Uh, and just as an overall flavor, like I can't even compare it to say like Coke with vanilla. Uh, there's just not enough there for me to really bite into it. None of the flavors are present enough for it to really be one thing or another. So it just ends up being very sweet and kind of having, like I said, a little bit of a vanilla flavor. But that's really about it. Yeah, I mean, no real aftertaste or anything. Yeah, I mean, honestly, at the very least, the Coke Black with zero sugar, at the very least, it's it's ahead of this because, like I said, it's not bad, but there's just so little there. Whereas at least with the Coke Black with zero sugar, you got a nice hit of flavor at the beginning, even if it kind of transposed into that zero sugar flavor. This one, they they really needed to either they needed to amp up one or more of the flavors for this to be a thing for me. Either they need to give it more vanilla flavor so that it would stand out more, or they need to give it more of that coffee flavor and then kind of let it, um, you know, kind of move into that vanilla. But just as it is, it's just blended in such a way that it's just, yeah, it's just kind of there. Yeah, I gotta be honest, I'm very disappointed with that one. So, last one on the docket, folks. Coca-Cola with caramel. I'm hopeful, but less so after the vanilla because I was expecting to really enjoy the vanilla. I actually have a. You can buy these in either singles or you can buy them in 4 packs. And I think I bought two uh, dark blend 4 packs, like in anticipation, because I was so excited for this. I bought like two dark blend 4 packs aside from this one. Or no, actually, I think I took one of those out. And then I also bought a vanilla one. I would have bought a caramel one also, but they only had the singles of the caramel. So, yeah, give it a shot. Doesn't have much of a smell. Which the zero sugar one didn't have much of a smell either. But then it ended up actually having a good flavor. So here's to it. Let's hit this shit. Okay. Well, it beats the hell out of the vanilla one by miles. This one might actually be closest to what I recall Coke Black tasting like. Yeah, yeah, because it definitely has that Coke Black flavor. Like I said, unlike the vanilla, which kind of just was. But unlike the dark blend ones, specifically, the main dark blend with the sugar, it's sweeter than that, and it doesn't get that. It has like maybe a tiny bit of bitterness at the end, but less so than the dark blend. And that's pretty close to what I remember Coke Black tasting like. So, and the caramel plays really well with it. I mean, caramel's already, in my opinion, it has kind of a similar flavor profile to like Coke already. So it does a nice job of kind of, like, it takes everything that this does well, but then it goes over there and it, brings it more up into the soft drink realm, veers it a little bit away from, the coffee comparatively, but it's still there. It's definitely still that Coke Black flavor, so it's still definitely got that kind of, coffee-esque flavor. But, like I said, it's, different, and it's, excuse me, lots of carbonated drinks, so yeah. I think out of the four that I've had, and I believe those are the only four as far as I know, I think that the Coke with caramel is the closest facsimile to Coke Black. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. So, in terms of ranking, where would I put them? Coke with the caramel is gonna go at the top, because, like I said, for me, it's just it's the closest to that Coke Black flavor. If you were to try these things, it really does just kind of taste almost like a sweeter dark blend. So if you're into, if you want that sweetness hit, great. If you don't, then the dark blend, which would be my number 2. I think the dark blend, if the zero sugar dark blend didn't have that zero sugar taste to it at the end, it would probably be in the number 2 slot, because I think in terms of overall flavor, it has a little bit more going on than the dark blend. But like I said, it just, because of that zero sugar taste, it loses some points. So zero sugar is going to be number 3 then, and then in a very, very distant fourth is the vanilla. I personally, if I were Coke, I would probably go back to the drawing board on this one. It's, like I said, it's not bad. It's, fine for what it is, but I don't really feel like it matches well with the others, and it doesn't do enough by itself to be particularly interesting or something that I would want to return to. Whereas with all the others, even with the zero sugar, if the other, the caramel and the normal one weren't available, I would probably pick that one up, if it were just a thing. Whereas with the vanilla, I would probably leave alone. So yeah, anyway, folks, this was my Coca-Cola with coffee special. Would I recommend them? I'd recommend them for me. If your tastes are similar to mine, then sure, absolutely. And more specifically, I will say this, folks. I would definitely try them. I don't know, how long they're going to be around, if they're going to be a limited thing or whatever. Hopefully they stick around for a while. I would try them while they're around. If you like Coke or if you like coffee or whatever, and especially if you're one of the folks like me who really enjoyed Coke Black, absolutely try it because, at the very least, the Coca-Cola with caramel comes pretty damn close. And if it ever does go off the shelves, like I said, I gave you my recipe for moonshine version of it. So you got something to fall back on. But for the average person, and I apologize for this review going so long, but, I had 4 things to try, and I tend to ramble. Like I said, I would definitely try it if only for the curiosity, and maybe you'll like it. It suits my palate well, but then my palate is a little bit different than everybody else's palate. So, but I did personally really enjoy it. And hopefully you enjoyed this review thing that I did, where I talked about a Netflix anthology, and a poster, and then I drank some stuff, and then I talked about almost pooping myself earlier. Anyway, folks, that's going to be it for me. But before I go, if you could do 5 things for me. Number 1, if you could go over there and have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. Number 2, if you could go over there and have yourself a phenomenal rest of your week. Number 3, if you could have yourself a magnificent rest of your month. Number 4, if you could have yourself a stupendous rest of your year. And number 5, you could go over there and have a Coke Black-tastic rest of your life. 2 more things, folks. Just 2. Before I go. First thing, folks, if you could go over there, if you could bring some positivity into the world, that would be fantastic. It's not always possible, but, you can always put in the effort. And sometimes, you get what you put back, and sometimes you don't. But don't let that discourage you, folks. Always try to bring that positivity out there. If you can't do that, though, because like I said, this is absolutely understandable. Sometimes you just can't. Try not to be an asshole. You're not always going to succeed in that, but I do think that is the key to life. Just try not to be an asshole. And then the final thing, folks, if you could go over there, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, I want you to go out and I want you to do it. Maybe you're over there, maybe you're a crazy guy like me, and you really love Coke Black. In which case, go out and get yourself some Coca-Cola with coffee. But maybe you're not into Coke Black. And maybe you're over there and you want to do something else with your life. So, go over there, adopt a puppy, start a business. Who knows, folks? I don't know. But whatever that thing is for you, especially if it's something positive, something good that you can bring to the world, you have my full endorsement. Anyway, folks, that's going to be it for me. Thank you for coming along this very long journey. Like I said, it is a very special thing for me. Most of these are going to be going back in my fridge, but at the very least, this one is going to be my drink of choice for this morning. And y'all have a wonderful rest of your days and lives and all that good stuff.